What did that one teacher do that you'll never forget? I didn't talk much, and when I did, I stuttered. The kind that makes people finish your sentences for you and then laugh like they're helping. My dad always told me to keep my head down and focus on grades. Kids can't laugh if you're smarter than them. He was wrong. They laughed anyway. Especially Mark, the quarterback, who once made a game out of counting my stutters. By the end of class, he had 32 tally marks on his desk. The teacher laughed too. I learned silence was safer. Then, halfway through sophomore year, a new English teacher arrived, Mr. Walker. He wasn't like the others. His shirts were always wrinkled, his tie never straight, and he called everyone kiddo. He had this way of looking at you that made you feel like you mattered. The first time he asked me to read out loud, I froze. My voice broke. The words came out wrong and the room filled with muffled laughter. I expected him to move on, like everyone else always did, but he didn't. Instead, he said, "Take your time, Daniel. The words aren't going anywhere." Then he waited. Not the kind of waiting that feels heavy, the kind that feels patient. I finished the paragraph, shaky but complete, and for the first time, nobody laughed. A week later, Mr. Walker asked if I'd stay after class. I thought I was in trouble, but he handed me a worn-out paperback copy of To Kill a Mockingbird. Inside the cover, he'd written, "Use your voice even if it shakes. People remember courage more than perfection." That sentence stayed with me, but not everyone liked him. Mark and his friends called him Mr. Whispers because he spoke softly and never raised his voice, even when they mocked him. One afternoon, I saw Mark switch out the notes on Mr. Walker's desk with prank letters, fake love notes addressed to another teacher. The class roared when she read them aloud. Mr. Walker just stood there, quiet. He didn't defend himself, didn't say a word. But the next day, something strange happened. He walked in, smiled, and said, "Pop quiz on honesty." Every question on that test was about empathy, integrity, and doing the right thing when no one's watching. The final question read, "Would you admit to something cruel if it meant saving someone else's dignity?" Nobody answered, except me. That Friday, Mark didn't show up to class. Word spread that his father, the school board president, had pulled him out after a disciplinary meeting. Nobody knew why. A month later, Mr. Walker resigned. Rumor was, the board didn't like how he handled certain matters. He left quietly, like he always did, carrying only one box of papers and books. Before he left, he found me in the hallway. He handed me a folder and said, "Kiddo, keep this. You'll need it one day." Inside were my essays, the ones I never turned in because I was too embarrassed about my writing. He'd saved them all, marked them with notes like, "You feel the world before you describe it. That's rare. Don't lose that." Years later, I graduated college with a degree in literature. I became a teacher. On the first day of my first class, I wrote on the board, "Take your time. The words aren't going anywhere," because I never forgot what that one teacher did.